Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade, and we're starting our weekly webinar, mapping out your week ahead. And as usual, special welcoming goes to new people. And for you, just one phrase would explain what we're trying to do here. And as traders say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. And I always start my webinar with this phrase because it's the truth. It's important to have a plan. It's important to have a little structure and to see what kind of actions a trader will or should be taking in the upcoming week. Of course, you can adjust on the way, but at least you have some kind of structure. A few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade, and I started my trading career about 25 years ago, to be exact, June of 2000. I started as a prop trader in New York City, and after 11 years of that intense trading, I moved into a different way of trading and also started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy I have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda, the usual scenario, we'll talk about indices, stocks, commodities, forex, a little bit of crypto for dessert. We'll try to see what happened last week, and we'll have a few slides from the articles giving us a little bit of a taste what's been happening, and we'll take a look at economic calendar. We'll see the situation with the Fed's prediction, and of course we'll mix some fundamentals with technicals. We'll take a look at the charts, losers and winners. We have a big list for today, and that's it. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to have a plan, and we'll try to stick to it. Of course, everything we'll do here is purely educational. This is the risk warning. You can find a full statement at avatrade.com. This is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades, or we don't give any signals as well. Social media, please don't forget to follow us on Telegram, X, former Twitter, and YouTube. As I always say, it's my favorite. You can find a lot of useful information there, including tutorials, educational materials, and webinars. And if you are missing a webinar, don't forget that are being recorded and posted on YouTube, so you can access any webinars at any time that's convenient for you. If you are watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to click likes. Of course, only if you like it. Share it with people that might benefit from this, and write your comments. Also, very important, I just thought about it. If you would like us maybe in the future webinars to discuss any specific markets, you can write it as well on YouTube. Just write what markets, what assets you would like us to go through or over. All right. Okay. Let's start, and we'll start, of course, with the last week, and the culmination of the week was pretty strong. Friday, we actually gained back the losses of Thursdays. So we have S&Ps Friday gained 0.9%, and for the week the gain was very little, 0.1%. And Nasdaq rose on Friday 1.3%, up 0.4% for the week. And Dow Jones rose 183 points, or 0.4%, but for the week it was down 0.6%. What we had, the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index was down. We'll talk about it a little bit when we show the slide. And it was below the expectation. And what really helped the market a little bit, that's cooler than expected consumer price index, or inflation. So those are the main things of the week. So here's the consumer confidence. Just read it really quick. Consumer confidence, economic activity data, and short trading week for Christmas. By the way, very important. Good thing I read this week. As all of you know, the Christmas holiday. And it's going to be different. So instead of bringing here details, it's a lot of them. It's very good. It's very good for you to just go to AvaTrade website, go to trading info, and holidays hours. So it goes there for all the instruments. Some of them will be closed towards the end of the week. The U.S. market, some of them will be short session on Wednesday, Thursday close, and Friday back to normal. So not to confuse you, I think all of you should go and just check it exactly, see what markets you're planning on trading, and see exact schedule for those markets. All right, so here we go. As we said, the stock ended the week mostly flat. S&P finished up 0.1%. Equity struggled early in the week as Bureau of Labor statistic reported on Tuesday that the unemployment rate rose 4.6% in November, the highest level since September 2021. So that was concerning. But benign inflation report from BLS on Thursday sparked a two-day rally, recouping losses. There are only 7 trading days left in 2025, and there will be no Tier 1 economic data release nor any major companies reporting earnings. So this is important. Here's another one. Consumers, as I mentioned, says right here the title. Consumers say they're in sore mood, but the spending habits say something else. And here are the key points. Consumer sentiment declined to a level 52.9 December, near the record low, despite continued spending and stable economy. Consumers anticipate a 4.2 inflation rate next year and rising unemployment rate, which reached 4.6% in November. Economists predict inflation will stabilize or subside, and the economy may improve in 2026 with potential interest rate cuts, right? Here's another one, nice picture they used, the balloon with S&P 500 and a huge weight pushing it or pulling it back down, tech sector. As stock market rally broadens, it's tough for S&P 500 to keep advancing without tech. And it says right here, tech losses in December, tech losses in December are weighing on S&P 500 climb in 2025. So the techs are still down on December, just to let us know. Here's the Fed's situation. Next meeting, 28th of January. The picture changed slightly from a week ago. We had the probability of 24.4% of the next cut, and now we're 2% lower, 22.1% of the interest rate cut on next meeting. Now, economic calendar. Usually, I just keep the high impact events, but there was really almost none. So I included the mid impact as well. So for new people, this is economic calendar, public information. You can access it on our web trader or the app, or just Google it. And as I always say, it's important to us as traders to be aware of things ahead of time, so you wouldn't be caught by surprise by those spikes up and down when it's happening. So these are the things to mix, mostly mid-impact, some of them high-impact events. So we have interest rates from China on Monday, GDP numbers from UK Monday as well. Tuesday, Australian meeting minutes, that's for the last meeting. We had Canadian GDP, employment change from ADP. These are important numbers, the gross domestic or GDP numbers from the States. We have also personal consumption expenditure, IDP numbers, and all those things I'm not going to go through. Bank of Japan monetary policy meeting minutes, that's for last meeting. We'll talk about yen when we get there. Basically, they did raise the rates by 0.25%, and everybody would expect the yen to go up, and yen actually sold heavily. So that would bring us to this week, but we'll talk about when we get there. Initial jobless claims on Wednesday and then Thursday, which is Christmas Day. It looks like Japan is not celebrating Christmas. So we have the Bank of Japan governor speaking, and then we have inflation data, retail data from Japan closing the week on Thursday. So these are the things for the week. Again, as you can see, the main ones is GDP from UK, GDP from US, and speech of the governor of Bank of Japan and CPI numbers from Japan as well. All right, winners and losers. As usual, as you could see here, it gives us a little bit of an idea as metals are really running up. Gives us a concern about the market probably. So as we all heard about safe haven, right? When the money flows into gold. In this case, all the metals gain it. There's some uncertainty on the market, I think, and that really reflects on it. So palladium up 1339, platinum up 1438, silver up 869, copper 232, and gold up almost percent 0.93. And here we have the futures for mix of agricultures and energy. Coffee down 7.61, cocoa down 683, wheat 373, and heating oil, that's the energy sector, right? 338, soybeans 249, gasoline 232, natural gas down by 2.12%, and crude oil 133. So we're going to go through them one by one. We'll take a look at the chart and try to make sense of things and see how things will be for the upcoming week, right? So let's move to the trading platform, and we'll start as usual with indices, starting with China. Let's bring a daily chart. If you remember, we set up these trend lines here connecting the tops and the bottoms, and we got really narrow here. We said which way we're going to break. We might see continuation. So it looks like we are breaking to the upside on Chinese index, but we're having a hard time breaking through 50-day moving average. So let's see if this is real and if it will create an impulse to the upside, or maybe we'll come right back and do the opposite, breaking the bottom here. It doesn't look very convincing here, as we didn't close above 50-day moving average here. Japanese index was strong. The weak yen really helped it. Definitely take a look, 2 consecutive days to the upside. We broke through the 50-day moving average again. So we're going to be watching that Nikkei for the upcoming week. Now, moving to US indices, we'll start with S&P 500. Take a look, very serious level. We approaching that 69 level psychological. We spoke about it a few weeks in a row. This is the level that first we established resistance here on the 12th of November. We spoke about these tails and then the sell-off. We're coming back very close. We close about 7 points or $7 below that strategic 6,900 level. Nasdaq not as close. We did break through 50-day moving average again, and let's see if we have some strength to come and retest this level. In Nasdaq's case, the level on the same day here on the 12th of November was 25,827. That's on Nasdaq. Dow Jones, we said Dow Jones was down for the week. We did have the 2 selling days, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we tried to recover, but we ended up being negative for the week. And also take a look, we are playing with this level here. We didn't close above it. Maybe that's the reason. The high here was 48,526. You know, let's just set it up, exact number, 526. So this is our resistance on the same day, on the 12th of November. That was the high. And since then, unlike on Nasdaq and S&Ps, we actually broke and went to a new high. But now we're really stumbling here on this level, 48,526. We did try to come back above it, but we couldn't. So Thursday we spiked above. Friday also spiked above, but closed lower. So definitely we're going to watch that. Germany, the German DAX had Thursday and Friday recovery. Also, we're hitting this level here, which we had a lot of points of resistance around 24,505. We bounced off it right here back in June. A lot of actions around it. Again, we broke through it. Then The same day here on the 12th of November, we tested it again, failed to close. So we didn't have a closure above this level since October. So also strategic level here, 25,505. UK, we are moving high here, possibly trying to retest the highs. Bank of England cut the rates as well. Here we go, 99.55. Let's set it up. Let's see if we manage to break it and establish a brand new high. This is our level on the same date, the 12th of November. That was the peak. Since then, all the global markets retraced to the downside. So that's a reaction to the cut. The economy in the UK is not doing that great. So it's similar to the US. They all really put all their hopes on Feds. The same thing, Bank of England is the instrument for the market to get excited. So since that cut we had this past week, the UK FTSE has been trying to have a run here. All right, so that's, excuse me, that's on indices. Moving to stocks, I just want to show you the two major ones that we've been watching, right, as they affected the markets very heavily. That's NVIDIA. NVIDIA this past week ended up being in green, but just because of Friday, nice recovery. Before Friday, we've been selling and we've been coming close to this previous support level around 169, 170. Also, another one is Oracle, that we saw the push to the upside with that 300 billion deal with with the ChatGPT, I think OpenAI. And since then, we've been sliding. This week wasn't so great until a gap and continuation on Friday. So that's NVIDIA and Oracle. You know what? Maybe Broadcom is also worth taking a look at. Here's Broadcom. If you remember, we spoke about it. It was a huge move to the downside. We did try, but really failed. So the whole week we were going lower pretty much. Wednesday was a big sell-off. Thursday, inside day, and Friday with the markets, with this some boosting news, we tried to move higher, but on the daily chart, we're up below 100-day moving average. Let's take a look at the other big players. Netflix, or skip Netflix. Apple is, as you could see here, we spoke about the 277. We did break through it. I think this was Tuesday. And we so far holding the 50-day moving average here. Amazon, very jumpy here, a lot of spikes, a lot of gaps here. We are trading below 50 and 100-day moving average here. Microsoft remaining weak, but we're still holding that 200-day moving average. This week we tested it again and bounced off it, right? Google, as we said, Google has been the strongest out of the whole group. Still, roughly we see here lower highs followed by lower lows, and we are holding this 300 level, psychological 300 level. Let's see if that continues. Meta, aka Facebook, we did have something we mentioned, the 50-day moving average breaking below 200, and it looks like we are trying to establish resistance of the 200-day moving average here. So you could see here Thursday we bounce, we hit that ceiling, and then Friday we actually broke through 50-day moving average. So we could be expecting, again, if the market continues sliding, Meta could be sliding. I'll continue sliding with it. Tesla, strong, right? If you remember, we mentioned it. It really shows us a nice relative strength. When the rest of the stocks was selling, Tesla's been breaking to the upside, and the whole week we've been very strong. We just broke to this double top and established that possible support around 469, 470. And interesting enough, Friday when the whole market went up, Tesla actually went in red. So it just shows us a very controversial situation here. All right, so that's on the big guys. Now let's take a look at banks. If you remember, we spoke about the Goldman. It's sold here. It's still strong. So the banks are holding. JP Morgan tried actually breaking the previous high. This was on Tuesday. And then we went a little bit lower Friday, bounce with the market. Bank of America, strong. We established a brand new high here. Interesting. If you remember, we spoke a few times that there was some weakness in Bank of America since Warren Buffett announced unloading lots of shares. Just trying to see the trend lines here. Here we go. So we have a trend line connecting the tops, trend line connect the bottoms. We are trading in ascending channel clearly. So we rejected the trend line here on Tuesday, looks like it. Let's see what happened this week. Citigroup looks the strongest. Wow, we did close on the highs. Okay, so Citigroup banks are strong still. Something to watch. Okay, so those are the individual stocks. Let's move to commodities and we'll go through those winners and losers really quick. Palladium's a champion. Take a look at this vertical move to the upside. The weekly chart, we are approaching serious territory here around these levels here, around 1834. If we get there, we might face some resistance and some sellers to come in. Let's see if that happens. So this was the high of 1838.20. Let's just set it up. 1838.20. Let's see if we manage to get there, and I will probably see some fights, some battle there between buyers and sellers. Now, platinum. I tell you the truth, I've been talking about platinum many times, and I said that you remember I gave the example of 2014, I think, or whatever year it was, 2018, when platinum was higher in price than gold, and we said that we might be trying to catch up. Since then, we've been really moving higher here, and clearly a strong upside trend, unbelievably strong. So what am I saying? If I just listen to myself and just hold the position, it would be nice. Of course, it's very easy to look back in the historical chart and say that it would be a good idea. But nevertheless, platinum has been super strong. We did close here on Friday at 2023.6. Huge move after a Thursday move to the upside. Actually, that was the weekly chart. Sorry, the strong week after the previous strong week as well. Here we go. So that's on a platinum, up 14.38%. Next one is silver, also very strong, up 8.69%. Silver, I think it could be that's trading at all-time highs. I'm not sure. Probably yes. So silver also super strong. Copper was strong as well. If you remember, we spoke about copper when after this drop that we expected some 50% retracement. After that, we continue going higher. And let's see if that move continues here. Copper, nice recovery, not easy, slowly coming up to these levels, 548. And gold, of course, is trying. We had a very strong resistance here, reaching the first time on October 16th, 43.79.39. We'll just set it up. 79.39. Here we go. On Thursday, we almost reached that level. We had a lot of fighting here. So this was the initial 43.79.39. The next day, on the October 17th, we almost hit that level. Then higher by 3 points, but retracing a little bit. Then I guess the traders or the buyers lost their patience, and we had a sell-off. We had continuation coming up, starting gaining some momentum above the 50-day moving average. We touched it a few times. Then we came to retest the high here of 13th of November, which was 42.45, and we pushed through it. And now it could be that we're trying to retest this level again. So that's on gold. So the metals are strong: palladium, platinum, silver, copper, gold, all of them strong. Let's go to the weak ones, to the losers. Coffee continues sliding. We just made a lower low from this previous one from November 21st. We are below 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. Let's see what's next here. Down 7.61%. Cocoa as well at the down week. We did come to this level here, 64.25. We found a strong resistance, and we still are sitting on 50-day moving average holding here on cocoa. Wheat, it was a starting of the week, was a sell-off, and we holding this 505 kind of level, down 3.73%. And next one is heating oil. We are testing this level here from which we had a huge move to the upside starting October 17th. The low here was 211.55. Let's set it up. 211.55. As you could see here, we've been sliding lower, and Friday we did test this level, bounce right back. Let's take a quick look in the hourly chart. As you could see here, we came 2 hours down and then 3 hours up, and then it looks like we're holding this 211.55 level on heating oil, down 3.38%. Soybeans, this is interesting. We are coming to close this gap here, and also 200-day moving average. So it could be that some buyers will step in around here, 10.44. We did close the gap after this huge move to the upside. We're coming back to retest this level possibly. So we're going to watch soybeans for this week for possible closing gap, testing the 200, or maybe we can gap up and move higher. Who knows? But we are close to this level of a lot of actions, around 10.44. Gasoline, another energy player, has been super weak here. I don't know if we have any levels here. Nothing close. So it's in the free fall in a way. Gasoline, natural gas has been traveling south for a while after this huge move to the upside, making the high of 549.3. We did break through 50-day moving average, and this week we continued lower. And let's see what natural gas has in store for us. What catches my eye here, that we had two spikes around the same level, 384 and 3838, like a fraction lower. So let's see, I'm going to set up 384 level. It could be that we reach some kind of support around this level. We had continuation to the upside, so maybe the same thing might happen or not. So for the selling, we should see a breaking to the downside, establishing resistance and continuation. But for now, it looks like after this big sell-off, we are trying to find some kind of support. We'll find out soon. Down 2.12%. And the last one, also energy, the crude oil. Just take it away, doesn't make sense. Okay, crude oil, it looks like we're back to this 55.60s area. So you could see here this past week, We tried to go lower, bounce right back. That was on Tuesday. Tuesday we broke through it, even closed below, and then we bounced back up. This was the level that we tried to break through first on April 6th, then April 20th, and April 27th. This is the weekly chart, right? And then we started the move up here of the lows of 55.80, and it started the week of May 4th. And then we moved all the way here to 77. And then it took us from May to come back to this level again. 6 months, right? 6, 7 months. So let's see if oil is ready to bounce right back, or if we break below this 55.60s and start establishing resistance, we might actually continue sliding lower here, which is also a possibility. So that's it with commodities. And moving to Forex, as we said, the pound, this was the reaction, I think, to the interest rate cut, but we didn't really sell much. We are trading above this 133.70s. This was the beginning of a sell-off back in October. So this level is strong. This blue line here, approximate level 133.70. Now we spoke about yen, and take a look. You know, putting aside all the conspiracy and speculation, everything else, we did have they raised the interest rate by 0.25% from 0.5 to 0.75, and the opposite happened. The yen actually lost in volume. Take a look at this spike on Friday. We came almost to these highs of 20th of November. The high here was 157.88. We did close at 157.71, about 17 pips below. So the question is, was this a shakeout and then we move lower dollar yen, or this will attract more sellers for the yen? So this is serious. As you could see here, this is the weekly chart. The high here was 158.87. That was the beginning of the year, January. So it took us a year to come back, retest the support on dollar yen, and then come right back, right? Take a look. The sell-off happened much faster than the recovery. So the big question, what's next for yen? We'll just go and see against other currencies. Take a look. Yen sold against the whole bunch of currencies, Australian, Canadian, Swiss. I think it's an all-time high against the yen here. Euro, very robust move to the upside. New Zealand, not as strong, but still up. So this week for yen, I think for the currency traders, yen could be a nice opportunity for moving this week. We could continue to the weakness, or we could actually decide, or the yen could decide to really gain. It has a reason. We just had an increase in interest rate, which logically is good for the currency, right? So that's on currencies. I think we should be focusing on yen, also see pound, and of course US dollar here, right? We had 3 consecutive weeks to the downside. This past week we had a green week for the dollar, and also started with the gap over the weekend, 2 selling days, and then 3 days to the upside. All right, so that's on currencies. And as we said, a little dessert, or a little crypto for dessert. If you remember, we mentioned the bearish flag, they hypothetically could happen. It didn't happen here, right? We did break through it, and the very next day, this was on Friday, we did bounce right back into this channel. So that could disappoint some sellers, and maybe will attract some buyers here, but you never know. Maybe the first attempt didn't work, and then it will break through with more intensity. Nobody knows, and I guess we'll follow and see what's happening. XRP, similar story. We did come to retest this double bottom here. Remember this flash, right? The second one happened on 21st of November. We did close briefly here on Thursday below. Friday, we bounced right back. Saturday, moving higher. And today, we are staying green. So let's see how XRP will play here. So that's on cryptos. And I think that completes our analysis for the week. Again, these are the winners and the losers. We spoke about the calendar. It's a little dry for this week. The Fed situation is not so exciting, only 22.1% currently of the interest rate cut. And don't forget about social media, right? You have Telegram, you have X, and you have YouTube. Please subscribe. And just to remind you, if you'd like us to discuss any specific instruments, why don't you write it down in the YouTube comments if you're watching it on YouTube, and then I will include it in my next webinar. Speaking of which, I will actually skip the next one. It's the holiday. I'm also going to be traveling. And so next Sunday, we don't have the webinar. And the following Sunday, God willing, we will return in the new year with the webinar and continue and starting our new 2026, which brings me, of course, to a super important message. I want to wish everyone a great holiday. Spend a beautiful time with your families. Happy New Year. May the new year bring all of us a lot of blessings, peace in the world, success, of course, trading success, including profitable, healthy, and wealthy new year. And don't forget about the holiday schedule. Please check it. You can go to avatrade.com, trading info, holiday hours. And I wish everyone all the best. Take care.